coming on top of it. So either, right, we're here and we're either pulling that arm out, coming up to the shoulder, stapling it, right? You can also, if he's got his elbow in, go knee on belly and then bring that knee across, right? And then you can also, like I've talked about, he comes down and pushes that knee, find the gap, drive that knee to the mat, create some distance between his rib cage and his arm, sit on it, come up, and as he moves his arm forward, bring that knee all the way across the shoulder, staple, right? And then again, either around the head, right, or underneath the head. So we've gone over all of that the last couple weeks. Last week we started playing with the lapel. So we're gonna reach underneath, untuck that lapel, get all the slack out, right? And then we'll just start this morning by going underneath the arm, creating that rope, get a good grip, bring that elbow up into your side, right? And then we're just gonna grab underneath the underhook position, so we don't have to worry about losing an underhook right here. All right, so again, I know that's fast, but I think everybody's been here, so we should be good. Knee on belly, he pushes, or however you want to do it, right? Slide that knee down, staple, right? Get behind the head, again, push his shoulder back to the mat, untuck the gi, come underneath the shoulder, make that rope, pull that elbow up into the rib cage. Questions? All right, 1, 2, 3. If you can, always get your chest back and rock your chest forward. It puts his far shoulder on the mat when we go to start messing with the lapel. All right, we're going to start moving it up towards his head. Right, this arm is generally in the way, and we talked before about covering that arm. Right, but let's say he slips that arm out, so we're over top of the shoulder now instead of underneath. Right, we're just over top of the shoulder. You see, there might be more slack here. Don't be afraid to just grab it and start feeding it to your head side arm. It's better to keep the arm underneath once you've made this connection than to come over here and like try to get it nice and tight and then go back. Right? So just keep that arm under there. Use this hand to really feed it. Get all the slack so that you're tracking his shoulder, right? And then everything else is going to be the same. We're going to pull that back, and now we've got a nice trap on that shoulder there. It's very hard for him to roll this direction. He can't roll away from me because I'm sitting on top of his shoulder. Right? Again, over here, comes over top, right? If you can go here, we'll do that in a minute, but he pulls that arm out, you'll be here, right? Get a nice grip, pull that all the way back towards your rib cage, rock that shoulder forward so you give nice shoulder pressure to the head, right? From there, and again, doesn't matter if it's underneath the shoulder or over top, but we're already over the top. We're going to hand this grip off to our bottom side arm. So we're bringing our arm in, handing that grip off, just like so. When I do this, I want to put my shoulder down on his stomach so I still maintain some pressure. Right? Over here, we're going to grab that same piece of lapel that I'm working with, and I'm going to bring that elbow in nice and tight, right, for just a regular cross choke or bravo choke. So over here, get that same grip on that same piece of lapel. Come here, right? Or you will see people grab the meat of the shoulder material right there. That works as well. This is going to be tighter, and the grip is going to be much stronger. Right. Any questions? Nope. All right, 1, 2, 3. Got the grip either under the shoulder or over the shoulder, doesn't matter. Right? We've handed it off, but I'm not controlling that arm anymore. Right? So he starts bringing this in. I want to go to choke, and he's defending with his arm. Get that umbrella grip there on the sleeve. We're going to pull this down in between our legs, and I'm going to put my chest on the back of his elbow. Right? And then from here, I can start pulling with my right arm. I want to make sure that I get a nice, really starting to straighten his arm out. It's kind of like a triangle or an arm triangle. I straighten that arm out. I want to make sure that it comes right there against the carotid. It's not way up here across his face. I want to be here. Right? And then to finish, I'm going to let go of that arm, come underneath the head again. Right? Grab the middle of his back, just squeeze everything nice and tight together, right? And you can also, if you're not getting the tap, you can sprawl a little bit on that top arm and really push that down into that carotid artery, right? So again, we're here. We've handed it off. He's defending. We go to our umbrella grip, pull that down in between the legs, Make sure that you tuck it far enough to get your chest on top, up there by the shoulder, just at least above the elbow. Come underneath that head, start backing him back onto the mat. Just kind of hug him, right? Whisper sweet nothings into his ear, right? Questions? Right, 1, 2, 3. Once you're here and you've handed it off, first, when we pull this, I want to get him as far up onto his side as I can. That way, when I put my weight down on top of that tricep, elbow area, right, I'm pushing my weight into his shoulder, which is pushing it into his carotid, against my hand on the other side, which is hitting the other carotid. It's just like a triangle or an arm triangle. The same idea, right? Like I said, you can come around and squeeze. That works, right? Coming underneath the head and squeezing. If you look at his head, I'm automatically forcing him up into the top arm choke, right? So either one will work. This might just be a little bit slower for you, but they'll both work just fine. Okay, from there, we're going to go back, right? This time I've trapped the near arm, right? He gives me the common defense of he's got this up into my neck, right? I untuck the lapel, and I'm going to go straight over top of the arm. I want to be kind of up here by the wrist. You will see some people make a sling with it. I prefer to keep the rope, right? But come straight up over top of the wrist and hand it off to my bottom hand. Now, if I want this really tight, there's reasons that I might or might not, but if I want it really tight, once I've made this connection just like before, there's nothing he can do to stop you from sitting here and getting it as tight as you want it to go, right? And then we're going to bring that elbow in just like we did before. Now, some people are super flexible and they'll be able to wiggle their arm out if it's not tight enough, right? You just have to kind of play with it and figure out what works best for you. All right. So once we've made this connection, I've pulled it back into my my rib cage, my elbow back into my rib cage. I'm going to come underneath. And there's some people, not everybody, but some people you can kind of do like a little Americana here, right? So hand it back to my bottom side arm. I'm going to lift on the head, right? I'm going to lift the head up, and I'm going to come on top of the shoulder, and I just want to walk the shoulder forward, right, until I get the tap. Some people, like if you do this to me, I'm going to tap much faster. I just have no flexibility in my shoulder. If they're super flexible, you might not get the tap at all. But we won't spend any time on that, but you can try it when you go back out there. All you're doing, hand that off, come underneath, get it nice and tight. You're walking that forward. I like to lift the head up to create immobility in the shoulder to begin with. All right. We're here, right? We've got this nice and tight. I'm going to loosen it up. And I'm going to allow him to slip that arm out. And when that arm comes out, I'm immediately going back in with my own arm, right? Just like so. And I'm going to drag everything towards the neck. And I'm going to bring that hand straight across the neck on the near side. All right, to finish, I'm just going to do a push-up, straighten both arms. Right. So we're here. I'm going to allow him to fight to get that arm out. And I'm just like sitting here with my hand nice and tight. And as soon as that arm comes out, my hand immediately back in, right? All the way to the near side, straighten both arms. The more of your arm you get through there, the tighter it's going to be. What I'll tell you with this, you have to be careful. As long as you're on top of this arm, it's not too bad. If you choose to go underneath that arm like we've shown in the past, you don't have anything to stop you from being rolled this direction because you just tied up your posting hand, right? So if he's strong or whatever, he's able to roll you that way, you could get rolled, so just be careful with it. Any questions?
Can you still finish it if you get rolled over, or no? Do you not have the leverage anymore?
I don't think I've never been able to finish it if I got rolled. Okay. You don't have anything. It's not like a loop choke. At this point, you'd just be pushing
against.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah.
Okay.
Maybe we'd probably be able to finish against you, but probably nobody else though. Literally nobody else. Any questions?
I mean, one of a kind.
He's gonna fire. The only new thing we'll go over today then is from the same position. It could be again over the arm or under the arm. Usually I'll be here because this is just a good position to kind of tie up and force him to expend energy. We're going to reach back with our, and you can do it, this part doesn't matter, right? Whatever grip you have here, none of that matters, right? This will put his hand right where we don't want it, and you'll have to fight through this hand. But whereas this, he's more likely to do other things with this hand, which will get it out of this area where we don't want it, right? But it doesn't really matter. Over, around, underneath, none of that matters. All right, so we're here. We're going to reach back. We're going to untuck our far lapel, right? Our far lapel, and I'm going to cover the tip of it, right, so that he doesn't have anything to hold on to, right? So we're here. We're going to bring that in, bring that all the way across your chest. Try to keep your arm, everything nice and tight between your bodies. Don't try to come out here with it. He's going to see it. A lot of times you can get it all the way up here without him knowing that lapel is coming. Right? We're going to push it all the way up, and we're going to let go of his, and we're going to grab our own. Right? To finish the choke, right? We want to be right there underneath the head or underneath the chin. Right? To finish the choke, all I'm going to do is start turning my body back this direction. So I'm going to lead with my arm, block his hip. I'm just going to start rotating my body. I like to, if you can grab the mat and rotate, I like to grab him and push. Right? If I push him this way, it will really create torque as I move my body this way. What's happening is, right, you're here in the artery, where when I bring my chest to the mat on this side, I'm forcing my own lapel down across the throat, right? So again, we're here, we bring it in, we let go of whatever we have of his, right, and we get a grip on our own lapel, right? To finish, I'm coming to the near side, pushing on the hip and rotating my whole body to the near side, right? So if I'm nice and loose here so that he can keep breathing, right? To finish, all I'm going to do is bring my chest and my head to the mat. When I do that, I'm pulling with my left arm, and as I pull, I'm forcing his head up into the choke, right? So I'm pushing down with my lapel here with my chest and forcing his head up with the choke, right? If he's able to fight and he's not choked yet, right? We're here, he's not choked out yet. Picking up with that arm even more will continue to make the choke tighter and tighter and tighter, right? And then the last step you can add, right? If you, in case there's somebody else that has some athletic ability besides, I don't, but all you're gonna do is just do a forward roll. Right? He's gonna tap before that, but if you're here and you do a forward roll, you get a nice highlight reel choke out of it.
Chase is like, I'm definitely doing that.
Chase will do it to me later. It'll be great. Any questions? 1, 2, 3.